Have you ever had a near-death experience? Or perhaps someone you know may have had a near-death experience? Well, if so, we would love to hear your story and have you as a guest on our podcast. For more information, visit NDE.world. Again, that's NDE.world. We would love to hear your story.
Welcome to the NDE World Podcast, where we explore the magical, mystical, and spiritual world of near-death experiences. And now, Ashton Lewis and Daphne Lynn.
Welcome back to the NDE World Podcast. I am your host, Ashton Lewis, and this is my lovely co-hostess, Miss Daphne Lynn. Hello, Daphne. How are you today?
I'm doing really good. It sounds like you're in a really good mood today as well. That's always good to hear.
Only on days that end in AY.
Perfect. That's great to hear.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, absolutely. So, we are back on the NDE World Podcast to do some more reviews.
Yes.
Some more near-death experience reviews. And for those of you who don't know, that's what we do. We specialize in just really going over the actual near-death experience elements, more specifically the out-of-body experience and all those really magical elements that go along with that could be a link to the afterlife. And a lot of people say that it is. And so we don't know, but it's a beautiful thing when you really start to look into the actual near-death experiences and things like that.
It really is. It's so fascinating to me. I really enjoyed really digging into this deeper. I mean, because when I first heard of it, I was very skeptical of it. I'm like, nah, it's just people in people's minds. Science can do away with it. But once I really started researching and listening to these accounts, it's broadened my perspective of it, and I really believe it's what's on the other side.
Yeah.
Now that I have done the research into it.
Yeah, I can totally relate. And the thing that really attracts me to it, there's lots of elements, but there are so many common elements. And this is all around the world. Every experience is very unique, specifically unique to that individual.
Right.
Worldwide, every background, every religion, every culture, everything. It's, they're very common elements. However, at the same time, it's very, very unique to the actual individual.
Exactly, yeah. And that's the beauty in it, that we can take away lessons from each and every one of these accounts.
We can. There's nuggets.
Yes, most definitely.
There's nuggets, yeah.
Speaking of nugs, you want to go looking?
Yeah, let's go nug hunting.
Nug hunting.
Nugging.
Nugging.
We're going to nug. Hey, y'all going to go nugging?
Nug hunting.
Let's go nugging.
Nug hunting.
Nug hunting. All right, let's go nug hunting. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. And also, just to throw in a disclaimer real quick before we go any farther, the near-death experiences that we have are actual real experiences. All right, taken from the NDERF, that's NDERF.org site with Dr. Jeffrey and crew over there. These are actual real medical and scientifically and everything just backed up, real deal, legitimate experiences. So we hope you enjoy it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take it and play it. Our first clip of the day. This was a pretty long clip, so we may just do this one clip in this particular episode since it's such a long clip. So you guys might want to just get ready because we got this is a pretty long one here, but we're going to play it and we do what we do best. We're going to go ahead and comment on it and see what kind of elements and nuggets we can pull out. So
yes, that's
without further ado, what was you going to say?
That's what I was going to say. Hopefully there's a bunch of nugs in it that we, as well as the listener, can really take away some points and maybe change something or awaken something in the listener's life.
In their life, absolutely.
Yes. I mean, it's even my own. But we're doing this for the people, so.
Well, that sounds good. Let's go ahead and get things rolling. How's that sound?
Perfect.
Okay,
Let's
perfect.
do it.
All right, and we are rolling.
After several hours of being ill, I felt like I was in complete confusion, sickness, and disorientation. Then I had a feeling of severe stabbing and burning pains in my chest. A friend led me to a bed to rest. I looked towards the window and I saw a swirling portal in front of me. It's so beautiful and so colorful. It looks like something I've seen before, but I have no idea where. The main shape is a deep dark blue, and it's changing shape constantly. Around and behind it are other crystal-like colors that are moving too. The portal is growing bigger and bigger, until all I can see is the portal. Then I was inside it. I look around and all I can see is endless space. It feels like I'm in the middle of the universe and traveling through it. I can see forever, no words can describe how far I can see or how big this place is. It's more than you can ever imagine. It's endless, but somehow the huge size of it all doesn't seem overwhelming and I don't feel small. It feels like the whole place is taking care of you and it feels like freedom. There were colors flying around everywhere in this dark space, like shooting stars in the distance. Some colors are up close, some feel like they're behind me, and some colors feel like they're inside me. I can't explain. I remember that I saw colors that I've never seen before. When I saw the new colors it made perfect sense. It was the feeling of, oh, of course that color exists. How did I ever forget about it? Everything seemed so familiar and unusual at the same time. I could see planets, stars, and galaxies. I can feel the Earth far behind me. I'm traveling deeper and deeper through the universe. I can feel something pulling me towards it. It is a force stronger than gravity and it's calling me. The colors are fading and the planets and shapes are becoming fewer and fewer. It feels as if I'm getting close to the very edge of the universe now. I can feel it. Then suddenly, there is perfect silence, perfect peace, and 100% calmness. I've crossed a boundary, and I'm not in the universe now. Instead of darkness, everything is the creamiest white you've ever seen. It's not just a plain color, because it seems to have a texture to it. It is a creamy milky texture, crossed with rubber, but also at the same time it was as light and thin as air. Words can never describe it. It was like being bathed in melting wax, but without it ever sticking to you. You can't feel it on your skin, you can just see it everywhere. I can tell there is no time or space anymore. Time doesn't make sense to me now. It feels stupid that I ever believed in time. I can feel myself melt into my surroundings. I can feel everything that ever existed before me and I can sense millions of years ahead. I can't explain it, but it's as if all of this knowledge was suddenly released and given to me. I suddenly know that life will last forever, because I'm at the place that everything came from. I can feel it. This energy/place is so big that I know nothing can ever destroy or create it. It would be impossible. This thing I'm in, it must be God. It is not a man or a creature dictating over the world. It is just a force that is an endless and infinitely powerful thing. But again, the word thing doesn't do it justice. It is existence itself. It runs through everything, it is everything. From a stone to a drop of water, to a bacteria, to the stars in the sky and even nothingness. It is everything. I can feel it. Then suddenly, I fall. I'm falling deeper and deeper and faster and faster. Everything is going dark. The further I fall, the blacker it gets. I want to stop falling but I can't control it. I notice that I don't seem to have a body anymore. How am I falling without a body? Suddenly, the fall stops. I'm in a dark space. It's blacker than I've ever seen before. It is a thick, dark blackness. It is huge and almost endless, but something about it feels smaller than the place I was before. It feels like I'm underneath something but I don't know what. It's silent here too. There's nobody or nothing else here. The way I feel here is different. There's no happiness or excitement here. It's just boring. There isn't unhappiness either, just indifference. It feels like there's nothing to learn. That's a strange way to describe it, but that's how it felt. It was like I was in a place where there was 100% nothing. I would never learn anything there and would never communicate with anyone or anything. In the distance, I saw a bright light that was getting closer and closer. Either I move up to it or it moves closer to me. Either way, it is a lot closer to me now. I saw a regular bull, but it is made of fire. Its size is indescribable and larger than anything I've ever seen. Flames gently bathe its whole body. The bull is walking calmly and purposefully through the darkness. When I see the bull, I suddenly sense a cold, wet feeling, but I don't know where it's coming from. The bull turns and looks at me. It looks calm and peaceful. It nods its head at me, almost bowing, and keeps walking. I can sense that it's really intelligent and friendly, but he doesn't speak. The bull turns its head back again, and with a flick of its neck, it gestures for me to follow him. I start moving behind him. He's leading me somewhere, but I don't know where or why. I'm still feeling completely bored. I don't want to be in this place. Bored might seem like a strange way to describe this period. But it really was as if there was nothing here. It was almost like torture. Suddenly, I feel something lift me. I hear a single voice say, "Don't follow him." I'm being lifted higher and higher while everything is getting lighter again. I'm back in the white place, the part where everything is. This time there are other things there. Organized colors were everywhere within the whiteness. A kaleidoscope would be something slightly similar, but it was more than that. It was so spaced out and complex. White was still the main color, but there were thousands of other colors everywhere, dotted in mathematical shapes and patterns. Shapes and colors unfolded, grew and glistened, others pulsated, and some just floated around. "You're home now," seemingly thousands of voices said to me. All were speaking at the same time as one voice. But it wasn't like I heard them with my ears. It's like they communicated directly with my soul. I replied that I don't know where I am. Even though I did know, I didn't want to admit to myself where I was. They replied, "This is where you came from and this is where you'll end." They kept repeating it, again and again. The colors pulsated with their voice. As they spoke, I could feel and see a timeline of the whole of existence. It was like they were showing it to me. I could see everything, not just our galaxy. I saw the whole universe. I could see the Big Bang. Although it wasn't a bang, it was more like a slow drip. It was like a material being stretched and slowly a hole formed in the middle of it. We are in that gap. I begin to understand it was this God/energy place turning itself into existence. It made a rule, as if it made a game and set wheels in motion. Everything started from a small point and grew from there slowly. The universe is a thing that created itself and is watching itself. We're all part of it. This place/thing/existence that created us and is us, doesn't know where life will lead. That is what it enjoys. The voices tell me to let go. They explain that they think I'm still clinging onto myself as a human. I say I'm not ready to join them yet. They tell me that I'm being irrational, because I am them. They say it's time to come home. They assure me that it will only be temporary because energy always needs to be reborn over and over again. I'll transform into something else one day. Suddenly a flash of memories hits me. I remember myself as 1,000 different insects all at once. I remember another time where I was being eaten by something. I remember being born and being here before. I tell them I understand, but I still haven't finished my life as a human yet. I still have a lot to learn, a lot to see, and I want to see the people I love again and let them know how much I care about them. The existence/energy tells me that I can still see them. They say they'll show me. They tell me to reach out. Even though I have no body, I reach out somehow. I can't see anything reaching, I can just sense that I am reaching. Suddenly the whiteness feels like it's fusing with me. It's so warm, it's flowing through me and I'm merging with it. The thousands of voices tell me that this is energy, This is what everything in existence is made from, and that it flows constantly through everything. They explain that because this flows through everything, it means that everything and everyone is connected. They say that this bright, white energy even exists in the air, in the space between things, and in space itself. Even in places where we see nothing, it's filled with energy. They say that because I am now returned to the source energy, I can now flow through anywhere I want. They show me and I visit my loved ones, but I don't actually see them, I just feel them. The life force then shows me worlds and places I've never imagined, so far away from Earth where other life exists, and some places that are just completely empty. I distinctly remember seeing another planet with a huge grass plain, with trees dotted around it. It didn't look like anywhere on Earth because the grass was almost as tall as the trees. Running through the trees was something that looked like a cross between a yak and an orangutan. It was a huge, muscular animal charging quickly through the wild. I'm then shown more and more places, some remarkable and some unremarkable. I realize just how huge the universe is. Earth is just a tiny part of an endless world. In a flash I'm back in the white energy again. I tell that energy that seeing the people I care about isn't enough. I want them to be able to see me, and so I need to go back to my body. I want the people I care to not be alone, and I can at least say goodbye. They tell me not to worry, everybody will remember me because I have made an impact on their lives. They say I will live on in their memories, and even though they will be sad for a while, they will get over it. Eventually the people I love will also return home, so I shouldn't worry. I can feel myself getting sad. Even though I feel like I'm home, completely at comfort, and fully trusting these beings and this place, I still have this unshakable feeling that I'm not ready to return to that place yet. They can sense how I'm feeling. They continue to tell me to let go of myself as a person. That I am just a form that their energy has taken, and now it's time to be absorbed back into the energy. I hear the voices say, "Look, we'll show you." Suddenly, I can feel that I'm back in my human body, but I'm viewing it from inside my brain. I'm in the very middle of my brain, and I'm infinitely small, surrounded by millions of honeycomb-like shapes. I was divided by large chasms and separated into different areas. I can see my brain working. There are only 3 colors here: red, yellow, and white. Each individual honeycomb, what I assume to be cells, is flashing between the colors depending on when it's being used. The energy introduces me to my brain. It turns out that my brain isn't just one thing, it was as if it were segmented into several different areas. They showed me where my personality was kept. I saw how I was nothing but a bunch of memories and training that made me think I was a human. My brain then said, "Watch," as I moved to a different area of it. I saw pulses of electricity moving from my brain to my heart. It seemed so simple, like a machine. It seemed especially simple compared to the endless universe I had seen before. The energy explained to me that my body was just a machine. My personality was just imaginary and shaped by the things I've seen. They said the only reason I exist is to see things and to experience life. They said all the things I see and experience are sent back out into the universe. They said that the universe is always learning, by watching itself through all of our eyes. They also told me that humans are no different than animals, and that they were created equally. The universe wanted to create as many different experiences as it could, and that's why there are so many variations in life forms and species. They said that there is no lifespan or plan. That I should understand that I've lived, and that's all I needed to do. They explained that it doesn't matter when you die or how. They explained how life isn't a competition to stay alive the longest. If I were to die, then I shouldn't worry that I didn't last long. I will never truly die, I will just change. It will only be my body that dies. As they were saying this, I could feel heavy vibrations beginning in my toes and then moving up through my body. It was as if my body was made up of thousands of grains of sand, and they were all vibrating at different frequencies. I could feel myself peeling from my body. It was slowly. Like Velcro being torn from fabric, or chicken meat being pulled from the bone. I was now two things, a body and an existence. In my body, I could feel all of my muscles relaxing, my shoulders fell back, and my head fell back. I felt my jaw flap open, my tongue relaxed, and I heard a crunch. Suddenly, I didn't weigh anything because I was freeing myself. I had completely left my body behind. My body wasn't mine anymore because I wasn't in it anymore. I had freed myself and joined them like they asked. I finally accepted what was happening. The honeycombs disappeared and I'm not in my brain anymore. I'm with them, somewhere where we all began. The 1,000 voices break into conversation, telling me stories, reciting poems, singing, and telling me about history and about the future. Instead of being slow and calm, it feels like everything is happening quickly now. It's almost too much to comprehend. I suddenly feel sad again. Again, I tell them I don't want to be there. I want to learn more as a person. They ask why, as if I had just told them the most stupid thing they've heard. I don't answer them. They then explain that they have some people there that I know. I looked up. Standing above me, almost like a giant, is a lady I know who died recently. She looks down at me and repeats everything that I have just been told, but without moving her mouth. She says how we are all energy, how everything is connected, and how I shouldn't be afraid. She says that nobody wants to be here, but we all must go eventually. She said that she will take care of me, so I shouldn't feel sad or worried. I asked her, but if you're energy now, then how come I can see you? Why do you still look like a human? Why haven't you turned into another creature on a planet somewhere? She doesn't directly answer my question. Instead, she explains that the universe is a huge place and that there's so much energy around, even more than can fit in the universe. She tells me that it can take millions of years until it's your turn to return into a being again, but that it doesn't matter because you can't feel time when you're energy. I explain one more time that I'm not ready for that yet. She replies something along the lines of, "Then you better do something about it." I suddenly find myself jolting up in bed with my throat filled with vomit. I can feel a tiny bit on my chest. I'm coughing it all up. The sun is shining through the windows, and I feel really ill. My chest is pounding and the room is spinning, but suddenly I'm aware that whatever I experienced is over. I'm not dead, I said to myself. I feel numb, in shock, anxious, scared and unable to process what has happened. It's so much for my mind to comprehend. It was every emotion you can ever imagine, and it was the most significant thing to ever happen in my life.
Ooh, okay. Wow.
That has got so many nugs in it for me.
This is a long one, too. It's so long, but it is so full of nuggets.
Yeah.
This is like one of my most favorite ones I've heard in a while. I'm not going to lie.
Me as well, yeah. It's like you go into the movie theater with anticipation of the movie, and then you walk out feeling as good as you did going in.
Or better.
Exactly,
Yeah.
better. So it really resonates with you. So this one resonated with me really, so many points. I just, wow.
Absolutely. And since on that point, on that topic, let's go ahead and just jump straight into it because there are so many things to cover here. And we're probably going to run over a little bit because that was a pretty long one, but that's okay because there are so many nuggets. Let's jump into it.
Yeah, lots of them in this one. So if you want to take the lead on it, go right ahead.
Absolutely. Let's just start with the first experience where, of course, he was having these the sickness and going through the physical ailments and things like that. But I want to go kind of more towards the part where he looked towards the window and he saw the beautiful swirling portal, the dark, deep blue, and changing colors and things like that, and styles and shapes. Crystalline colors, crystal-like colors, but let's kind of start with that right there.
Yeah, I thought that was a beautiful part as well. But his comment on it was it looked like something that he had seen before, but didn't know from where.
Wasn't sure.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
It is. That's pretty cool. Well, inside the portal, okay, there was the portal he noticed the portal, but there was like endless space. Once he like went into the portal, I don't know if he had just went into it just quite yet, or was he already there? Because I think later it talks about where he had this force pulling him, but we'll get to that in just a second. But endless space, no words to describe it. He says more than you can imagine.
Yeah, he was in that endless space, and he was traveling through that space. So there was crystal-like colors and shapes in it as well.
Yeah. And the freedom.
The colors were vibrant more than he could ever imagine. And the feel of freedom throughout that. So. Freedom.
It says colors flying around and inside and out. That was cool. But also new colors that he's never seen before. We hear that a lot.
Yes, you do. You do hear that
I've had even meditation experiences in my past where I've actually seen tunnels and colors that I've never seen in this world. So
that's awesome.
And I can only imagine on the other side what it's going to really be like when you really see all those colors that we really can't comprehend. You hear that a lot.
Yes, and exactly. And especially hearing what he said. He said it was not only all around him, but inside of him. He was part of it.
Colors, inside and out. And the new colors as well. So deeper through the universe, you have this force pulling him and getting close to the edge of the universe. This force, he said, the force was calling me, and then suddenly 100% complete calmness or peace. And the creamiest white color, no time or space, or time doesn't make, I like how he said it. He said, time doesn't make any sense to me anymore. It feels stupid even to believe in time.
To have been believed in it, yeah.
Any comments on that?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, in this area, he said it felt familiar yet unusual at the same time. And like you said, that the voice calling him, and he said, how could he ever have forgotten about that place?
Right, which is where he had started.
Yeah,
before he came to Earth.
Like at the edge of the universe. I mean, wow, that's amazing, and it really validates for me in reading the book that I just finished reading, the Remember book. It really validates that we have forgotten where we came from.
Ties in perfectly.
This experience reminds me of that book so much, and hearing in different videos that I've watched, this validates for me that book was a live, real channel. It really does.
Absolutely, and you hear the same thing from so many different people.
Yes,
so
exactly.
What about the comment? I like the one where when he was in this position where he said it feels stupid to even believe in time because time doesn't exist.
Yeah, no time and space.
Where he had he can see 1,000,000 years ahead and 1,000,000 years back.
Yes, exactly. I wrote that down too as well. Life lasts forever.
Life will last forever.
Yes,
absolutely. Let's repeat that again. Listen guys, life will last forever. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
And keep going.
Yeah, and I was going to go on to say, he said, in that force, he reckoned it to be God.
Like God. In
like
that
God
force?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that it is existence, him itself. God is existence itself.
Yeah. Force, infinite, powerful existence runs through everything, even nothingness.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh. And it's energy. That's what they say. It's
energy,
the
yeah.
energy.
And he goes on to that, yeah.
Then what happens?
The dark.
I thought we was going to have a hybrid here.
I did too,
Cause I was waiting for him to fall and start being grabbed by demons and scratched up and clawed up and have some kind of hellish thing, but he didn't. But he did fall deeper and faster and into a darker, deeper type of space as well, with his no body. He realized he had no body, but he stops. The fall suddenly stops, but he's in this dark space and a thick darkness, a blackness. the silence. No one or nothing was there. There was no happiness. It was boring. It was 100% nothingness. Any comments?
Yeah, and there was nothing to learn there. You know, the silence that was there. But he saw a light off in the distance that turned out to be a bull of fire. That was quite interesting to me. And it was larger than anything that he had ever seen. And it was calm and walking toward him with a purpose. But he said it felt cold and yet wet feeling about it.
Absolutely. And to go with that thought, right after that, it says that he started to follow the bull. He sensed, he was kind of transmitted or
he sensed the intelligence of it, and that it nodded at him and bowed. And
he turned around and looked at him and he said, like, follow me.
And
it's like
exactly.
walking off. And that the fire bull leads him out of the darkness, okay? But a
voice calls out to him.
Yeah.
Don't follow.
Exactly.
Wow. He goes back into the light.
Then he goes back into the world, the light.
Into a kaleidoscope of colors.
Many colors and shapes and patterns. And we hear that a lot,
Yes.
Sometimes they'll go straight to the voice, straight to the black, or straight to the NDE or the distressed NDE.
Right.
And sometimes they'll start in the white or in the pure or in the light, and then go and fall into the darkness. But they always come back to the light.
Yeah, when they call out. This one, thank goodness, it was straight into that kaleidoscope of colors, where he heard thousands of voices speaking as one voice.
This is where it gets good. This
super,
is where it really
super,
gets good.
super interesting.
Because now we're going to start getting some nuggets from the other side. If you think of this is not only just an experience that somebody's having. Now we're going to start getting the actual things from a different intelligence from that other side of these beings. In this particular experience, there were thousands of the voices and things like that telepathically communicating with his soul.
And what were they saying?
You're home now.
You're home now.
This is where you came from, and this is where you'll end. Let's just stop right there. And it says they were repeating this again and again and again.
Direct soul communication is what he described it as.
This is where you'll end. Imagine that. Let's do that a few times together. Just imagine them saying this over and over and over again. We'll just do it a few times, okay? Let's go with This is where you came from. This is where you'll end. This is where you came from. This is where you'll end. This is where you came from. This is where you'll end. We only did it 3 times. Now imagine if you've got thousands of people doing this over and over and over. This is where you came from, and this is where you'll end.
Yeah, that source returning back to source.
Going back to source. Yeah, that's so
yes,
awesome. Beautiful.
Oh my gosh. It's so beautiful. I mean, it just...
And then the colors. Remember it said the colors were pulsating with their voices.
Yes,
exactly.
All
these colors going off while they were saying all this.
Right, and that is pretty cool.
Sure. Well, let's back up. There was actually a few things even before that. Actually,
yes, there was so much to take
go
away
with that
from
thought.
this.
It's part of what you were saying. Actually, it's the same thing. But before that, he said he went all the way back and he saw the Big Bang.
Yes.
But it wasn't a Big Bang. It was more like a slow drip.
Yeah.
And it was the universe itself. It said the universe created itself, starting from a small point. And grew.
Yes.
And that we are all a part of it, a part of the universe, and that it created us, and that it is us, and that's what it enjoys. And then they say it's time to come home, and only temporary, because energy always has to be reborn over and over and over again. Let me repeat that part and we'll comment on that, because that's another nugget right there. You're only going to be here temporarily and you're going to go back home, okay? Mm-hmm. Because energy has to keep rebuilding itself and being reborn. Any comments on that?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much in that, just that the God energy there itself. In hearing this, and this in multiple accounts about the Big Bang, the God turning itself into the universe. I never believed in a Big Bang. I never have, because of my religious beliefs. Mm-hmm. So this is just like, there's so much more that we don't know, and I still don't believe in a Big Bang as taught, but
this makes more sense here.
That's what I was going to say. This makes more sense to me than any of the schooling I ever got.
All at once and have what you have.
Yes. But it's God creating us and is in us.
It is us.
And is us.
Yeah.
We're all a part of it. What we have right here, right now, this physical form is only temporary.
It will go back to the earth.
Yeah.
However, you're going to be shining like a diamond.
Yes, and even his flash of memories began of his previous lives.
Yeah, well, before we go to that, let's back up. There's a really important one that I thought was pretty cool. I want to comment on real quick, and then we'll go to the flash of memory.
Sure.
If you don't mind. I want to read this, and you comment on it, please. And he says, and I quote, "I will transform into something else someday."
Exactly, yeah. That's that energy always needing to be reborn.
Right.
And we are that energy. We talk about the vibration on this channel a lot, and that's the energy, the vibration that has to be reborn.
Which is who you are.
Exactly.
Or that energy, which is who the source is, what we call God.
Right.
Now, your turn. Let's talk about the flash of
memories. The flash of memories,
okay?
Yeah.
So now he remembered being 1,000 different insects at once. What about that? How would you explain something like that? That's a connection to the all, isn't it? For sure.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of some of our previous ones we've heard where they knew everything was around them, all the different insects and how many of each insects or the number of leaves on a tree. I mean, that's just... I just
such detail.
It's such detail. So he actually remembered that, being all those different insects at the same time.
How about some of these other things?
Being eaten by something.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't go into detail on that, but can you imagine? I mean, wow, and he commented about being born, and he's been here before.
Yeah.
Yes.
He said he didn't want to stay, and they told him to reach out, and he sensed reaching out, and then he merged with the whiteness.
Uh-huh.
They told this is energy and is in everything in existence. Everything and everyone is connected. Let me repeat that again.
Mm-hmm.
And let's comment on that, because that is a key nugget that is in almost every one of them, but it varies.
Exactly. Everything is connected. From us to the grass to earth to all the creatures and insects and stars and trees. I mean, everything on the planet is connected, is source energy.
Absolutely. And let me read that again to go with your comment there. Was told that this is energy and is in everything in existence. Everything and everyone is connected. It is in the air. It is in space. It is even in nothingness.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Just that source has created everything and is everything as we are.
And everything goes back to source.
Exactly. Everything must return to source. I had written down here, and maybe you've got a little bit more detail on it because we did write a bunch of different things here. But my next point was worlds and universes away from Earth.
Yeah, I got worlds and places and other life.
Yeah.
Is that what you were talking about?
Yes.
Let's talk about that. Yeah. And so seeing these other worlds and things like that. Now, a lot of people do see Earth-like worlds. That's very common in the near-death experiences a lot of times.
Yeah, and he saw one planet that was similar to Earth with tall grass, but
as tall as the trees.
Yeah, tall grass, tall as the trees, with a creature similar to a yak and an orangutan mix.
Could you only imagine what that sucker looked like?
I mean, have you heard this before? Because you had mentioned this recently to me about that type creature.
Well, I only heard about it when I read the account, you know.
That's why you had mentioned it to me.
I heard about it, and I'm like, imagine that, the yak and orangutan-looking animal. But not only that, think about all the creatures that have existed, you know, in time, all the creatures that exist now, all the ones that we are aware of, all the ones that we are not aware of. And I can't help but to think about someone like Darius Wright, that we've talked about this in the past. You know, he's explored the whole world from a different perspective, and he says a lot like I feel, and I agree with it. I can prove a lot of it. But Earth goes on and on. We're not just a ball disk that spins through endless space. You know, we are stationary within this construct. But Earth is a level plane. It goes on, out, and out, and out. But there are other worlds out there, okay? There are other life forms here on Earth, okay? And what people don't understand is the word Terra, okay? T-E-R-A, I think it is. It may be even two. It may be two R's, yeah. That means Earth, okay? Terra is Earth.
Land.
So the Earth or land. The term terra or terrestrial means something of the earth, you know, something terra, okay? And however, something extraterrestrial is something that comes from, it comes from extra earth, extra terra.
True,
okay?
Yeah.
We have to understand that this extraterrestrial phenomenon that, you know, people think, oh, these beings are coming from other distant galaxies way from outer space. No, these beings live here on Earth. Earth is
just
terrestrial.
A different dimension.
Yeah, and not just that. It can be other physical. We don't know. It can be spiritual and physical and all. But the point is that Earth goes on and on and on.
I like the way he had a comment.
Extraterrestrial, extra Earth.
Yeah, I like the way his comment was on the little clip was, Earth is just a small part of the world.
It's just a small dot in the universe, yeah.
Yeah,
the
so
picture.
There's so much more out there that we do not know about.
Yeah.
Because we just can't imagine. And these people who have had these NDEs have experienced these things. These people who do these out-of-body experiences, astral travel and stuff, they are sensing and seeing and feeling these things that are beyond our realm. And that I have always said my whole life, to believe that we are the only thing in existence is foolish. You know, there's so much more out there.
There is. Both
there's
spiritual
so much more
and
out
physical.
there. Yes.
Yeah. So that would all tie in with what we were saying earlier. Now, let's go with your thought there. This next part, I really want to break it down a little bit and really focus on it, because to me it's another nugget, okay? Where is it? Right here. The Earth, you said, is a tiny part of it. I got that. Okay. Right here. Talking about he wanted to get back to the family. He wanted to get back to his body. He wanted to get back to things over here.
Yeah, they told him he had to let go of self.
Yeah, and they said that these that are left behind will return home soon. Did you catch that?
I did. I actually read that down.
Comment on that, because you know exactly what they're saying there.
Yeah, it's that return to source. I mean, that we are the spirit that's come here to have this existence and to take it back to source. And he actually goes into commenting on that later. So it's multiple channels and experiences that are saying this. We will return to home, which reminds me of the books.
Yes, and to go with that thought, what I was really kind of looking for right here, to go with that comment here, is that those left behind will soon return home. Don't worry about when it's time for you to transition, okay? Don't worry about mom, dad, brother, or sister, cousin, child, aunt, uncle, friends. Don't worry about anything that's on this realm, because why? These that are left behind will also return home soon.
And you'll see them again.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so since we never die, you're never going to die. Don't be sad for those who transition before you. You will see them again.
Right.
And the ones who are left behind, don't feel bad about going to the other side, and that you're going to be leaving all them, because you will be reunited again. It's
exactly.
beautiful.
And they went on to tell him to let go of the self, because this is just a form that their energy has taken, and there'll be a time to be absorbed back into that energy.
I know. Repeat that. Well, I've got it written here, like the same thing you said. If you don't mind, I'll read it with you, just like you said. That they said that, all these people that are left behind, including yourself and the people who's ahead
Every
of
human
us,
on
and
Earth.
the one left behind, are all just a form that this energy has created, and that you return back to the source, and in time to be absorbed back into that energy that we call God.
Yes, returning back to source.
Wow. And now he goes over, it kind of switches a little bit. All of a sudden, he's back in the body, but he's in the brain as a little bitty person, looking at different things, the way the brain's designed, and different things like that, and seeing, well, he said he saw red, yellow, and white color there.
Yeah, the energy introduces him to his own brain.
Yeah, think about that.
Very
Energy
interesting.
introduces him to his brain.
Yeah, and within there, he goes to seeing his personality and different parts of himself. But he says, this is just a machine.
Body is just a machine.
That
Yes.
the avatar that we talk about so much, we're animating just a machine.
Yes.
Because we are spirit animating that force.
The machine. Spirit's animating the machine. Yeah. Now, here's two nugs back to back, and we're going to break them down singular as well. First one, universe is always learning by looking through our eyes.
Yes, I love that. That's beauty.
How beautiful is that? I mean, just really think about that. How beautiful is that?
It is. I mean, and this is going to be, whoa, what the heck are you talking about to some people? But when you've been doing and researching this as long as I have, this beauty to me, it is absolutely wonderful.
It resonates.
It does. It really resonates to know that, we're experiencing something for Source to take back to Source, because we are part of Source.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And all the animals as well.
Yes.
Which brings me to the next nugget here. Humans
and
are
animals,
no different than animals. All are created equally.
Both are created equal, yeah. And the only reason we exist is what?
Well, the universe wanted to create as many experiences as it could. So that's why we have the variety of life on Earth.
Exactly.
I've even said that before, talking to people, that what they call God, you are God. That tree is God. That cat is God. Mm-hmm. You have to understand, well, what is God? God is
energy.
The life
force
of all things. This energy, yeah. Mm-hmm. Now.
And all we have to do is what? Live and experience.
That's right. That's all you have to do. And I like how it was brought up that no life span or no life plan. Just live.
Exactly. It doesn't, and it also, he went on to say, it doesn't matter when or how you die. We're not in a competition to live the longest. And it really makes me think about how many movies and books and stuff is out there on the Fountain of Youth. You've got to find the Fountain of Youth to live forever. We already do live forever. We don't have to search for something to make us live forever. You're just wanting to preserve the machine. All machines break down at some point.
It's going to break down. You think about this. No doctor on earth can keep the soul alive.
Exactly.
The soul already lives. It's already alive. It's a part of the source. It's a part of
and that's
the all.
That's what he says. He said, I will never truly die, just change.
Only the body dies.
Exactly. So the machine has to die.
Yeah.
The machine can't animate forever.
Absolutely. And it's because we're made of matter. And things that are made of matter will break down eventually over time.
Exactly.
But we're more than matter. We're not just this physical matter. We're also spirit as well. Now,
and we're still inside his brain at this point. So really think about that. You're learning all these things inside that one little spot.
Still nugs, yeah.
Yeah.
And now we're going to go to another part where he's getting ready to have more of an OBE, where he says he felt like he's being pulled out of his body.
Pulled apart.
Pulled apart, I'm sorry. Yeah, pulled apart like a Velcro or a chicken from the bone.
Yeah, yeah.
Something like that.
He was body and existence, his essence.
Now he was, the two, the body and the essence, which what we just said a while ago, matter and spirit.
Versus the spirit,
or consciousness.
The two have to eventually separate.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is the actual out-of-body, another part of the out-of-body experience. So we joined the crowd of thousands of voices, was it?
Thousands of voices that he wasn't in his brain anymore. He's actually having an OBE experience now.
Yeah, it was like telling stories and poems and singing and learning about history and all.
Yeah, it's amazing, which reminds me of a recent video we just watched.
Yeah, and as always, we hear that's happening so quick. Everything happening so fast.
Very quick, yeah.
But he said with all this going on, he still felt sad and wanted to leave, and the people there, that talks about that lady.
He began to recognize people there. Yeah. And one he recognized was a giant. She was a giant that he knew.
Giant told him that we are all energy.
And all connected. Wow. That is he has had this reinforced in this one NDE so many times. So I think
energy and...
Yes. I mean, this is like the second or third time this has been stated in this particular account.
We are all a part of Source. Source is experiencing life as we know it, and we all return back to that Source.
Exactly.
So then it says he was jolted back into the body, felt numb, not dead, and it was just really too much to comprehend. Mm-hmm. Wasn't long after that, the actual clip kind of ran out. So.
Yeah, but I appreciate one of his final comments was, you can't feel time when you're energy.
Wow. That'll get you thinking.
It will.
And
I mean,
that's what I call these nugs. We're getting stuff that is from the other side. These are all coming from the actual higher self, or the higher out there, the other dimensions of the afterlife or our consciousness or whatever. I mean, it's just, it's beautiful. And I love it when, of course, I would do this thing for hours upon hours at a time.
Me too.
I know we've got these kind of programming limits, but we did go over a little over today, but it was so much information in this particular one.
And I so hope that, this person's experience resonated with the listeners out there, because
and that they got nuggets
you're going to have awakenings, hopefully, from listening to this channel. And that's why we're here, is to share that knowledge from the other side, to broaden your view of life and your belief system, help expand and grow, enlighten.
I hate to say this, but just looking at the time, we're going to go ahead and try to wrap things up. Looking at the time, we've been talking about time, and time is not even real. It doesn't even exist.
Time doesn't exist.
And I'm sitting there saying, well, it's time to go ahead and wrap it up. Wow. Okay.
It's a human construct.
Anyway, it's been really, I enjoy really spending time with you guys and sharing this information with you. And this is what we do. This is what we enjoy doing. And if you know anybody who wants to be a part of this, come on and share your story with us. We'd love to have you. Go to the NDE.world website and we'll hook up. Yeah, just contact us.
We'll schedule a time.
Anything you've got, share with us. We'd love to. Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. So any final comments, Miss Daphne, on all the stuff we've learned, or maybe even one thing that really sticks out in your mind?
Just always be open. Don't be so closed. Open your heart, open your mind. Let things resonate or not resonate without judgment.
Yeah, very well said. Very good. And on that thought, we love you all so much, and may peace be with you. And until next time,
as always, please let your light shine.
For more information about the NDE World Podcast, visit NDE.world. That's NDE.world.